Hello guys, can you hear me? Sound check.
Hello everyone and welcome to Henrik Explains what went wrong with the release and why. And also the queue system. And at the end of the video I will go over the random questions that people ask in the Twitch stream and Henrik's answers. So let's first listen to Henrik, what he said all about the release and stuff.
Today I wanted to make a brief update on the situation and what's going on, and also cover a few questions that are, I would say, understandable, frustrating, why we have done some things, and hopefully I will shed some lights on why we need to do some things. And obviously I'm not trying to sit here and make excuses. I'm trying to be as open as possible and explain exactly what we're doing and why, and the reason of why we're here today. Why did we release when it seems like we're not ready for the players? This first stress test was very similar to this. That gave us the first and biggest opportunity to get a lot of players flooding our servers as close as is possible when doing a real release, even though the pressure isn't even remotely close to what we had in a real release. But anyway, that intention for that stress test was obviously to make sure that what's going on with the capacity and the login and all that. In a live scenario where we have those issues that happens, that gives us the rare opportunity to actually work with them. You can only simulate and test so much with fake numbers and bots, right? And unfortunately, we don't have the luxury in being a company like Blizzard, or running those games like Final Fantasy, and we have fixed all those issues that occur during that stress test. So we knew that, okay, now things are 100% stable, we're running, and we did what we could at that point. And scaling that up, again, using simulations and bots, we saw that there's a linear scaling that should follow that with continuously increasing amount of players. And we tried to also be as clear and open as possible that there will be chaos during our release, just as any other MMO game in the world, pretty much. It's enough with one error, one issue that kind of makes it very difficult for us. So the only way for us to solve this situation for real and have it really working is just as we did in the stress test. We need a pressure of players, just as we have now. If we would stop the game, shut it down, as understandably many of you guys suggest, that means the problem disappears temporarily because we have nothing to work with. We can't really confirm it, just as we did in stress test. Which means, how long will we be working in the shadows and the unknown, thinking we improved things or not, and then we go out publicly say again, no, we think we're ready. Let's go, another round. People show up again, maybe, and if that means we're in the same situation again, that will just be a big slap on the face, right? People are upset and not happy with this release. We are not happy either, obviously, with how this has been running so far. But it is kind of unavoidable for our point of view. If we shut down, like I said, we can't really confirm that we're actually fixing any technical issues. So if we lower the pressure on the servers, we can't solve the issue. And that means we're just postponing this situation again and again. One that, we're working day and night on this, and we're not stopping until we're ready, because we do have, everyone is unhappy, not pleased with how things have started out. It would be,
Another one.
strange if we don't all feel this frustration right now. Again, sadly, that is something we couldn't have luxury to. We did additional stress tests, but we couldn't reach a higher number. So we were pretty much in the shadows. We couldn't see what could be the next step where things simply, go through the roof or breaks. Obviously, we shut down our marketing, so we're not, pushing additional sales. And we are in contact with some main guys at Valve. So when it comes to 100K players, that is distributed on all our hardwares, including Havens. So that will never mean that we will ever have 100,000 players on Milan. Milan is physically too small to handle 100,000 simultaneously players, and that's have never been a target or physical possible. Like I said, we have 100,000 players in total. That doesn't mean that remotely close to these are ever simultaneously online at this current time. You see a rough calculation or estimation on the Steam charts. We're peaking around 10,000 on an almost daily basis. So if you imagine around 100,000 players, we're looking at peaking at 10,000 players. So that's an average of a tenth, which is quite common for MMO. So as long as you have a queue number, you are in that queue number. That pretty much went bananas in our previous version. So we're taking great steps forward when it comes to giving a reliable queue system. The different states where a player may seem busy, but they're not present, unattended pretty much. We're trying to go through that as well. Again, to just give as much rotation as possible within now when we're working on the actual main improvement of the servers. So we do what we can next to that. And yeah, it was obviously very unfortunate with today's rollback. One of the worst things happened. We got corrupt data. We got characters disappearing, and many different strange things happened. So one of the things that kind of started this chain reaction was one bug that kind of put different nodes in infinite loops. The queue login system wasn't working as intended. Everything went into a worst possible chain reaction. And we went through the database, see how far do we need to go back until it's saved again. And unfortunately, we had to go back a day. Our goal is always obviously to make sure that game time spent in the game is not being wasted in terms of rollback or wipe or anything like that. But when there's no option for us to salvage what we had and get the database to work again, there's no other options. And obviously we went back as far as necessary. And like I mentioned, we found a very important cap today on how packages are being dealt with that kind of hit the roof, and the whole server is being affected by that. When you cast a spell on yourself and that spell effect happens a few seconds later, when that goes to extreme, that's when the packages have kind of hit the roof. So the thing is here, if we can measure that this is a clear exploit or abuse, there's no doubt about it, and that's it, then we will take a stance against that. As soon as some of our guys can have a spare moment, we will go through the database in more great detail. Everything is logged and saved, so people can't just hide an item and think it's not visible. Obviously, it's all stored in a database, and we will go through that as soon as we can breathe. And if we are confirming some of these that we know this is added to the game in a unfair way, we will simply remove it from the database. There will be no wipe. We are not wiping the server. We are going through the data, and we'll manually handle that. And yeah, we are surprised that there's so many of you guys that are really supporting it, even though we don't deserve it right now. Understandable. But it makes a huge difference,
Okay, now let's go through the list of the random questions. One house per player is enough, otherwise the whole map would be covered in houses. Walker clade gifts on Haven give 2 points, but bandits give more points now. The AI is not a bottleneck on the server. AFK people will get kicked by GMs even if they're using macros. With ecumenical spells you can't move and cast. With other magic schools this will be possible. A magic school with instruments will come, even instruments that you can just play if you're bored. Ping has no effect on the queue system at all. The trader will come soon. More types of bows will come, more types of shields, weapons and all the other stuff will come over time. Coders get their hours of sleep. Henrik is making sure that everyone gets enough sleep. Territory control update will come later. Server capacity is upgraded. Subscription is not running currently. Later, when everything works and is stable, they will, of course, get the subscription running. The tutorial will get improvements over time. Necromancy will come soon. There will never be gunpowder in the game. Throwable weapons and crossbows will be in the game at some point. Mentalism and staff magic will come, but if the community wants some other magic schools, they will prioritize that, of course. Roadmap will come. Animism will come, where that you can change your body to a beast and stuff. Bounty system will also come. Some red priests will get removed because with the priest option at your houses and stuff that will come later, you don't need the red priests anymore. And to punish a little bit more the murders, it seems. Pet killing will also give murder counts in the future. Performance improvements will come. Houses have the same HP. Doesn't matter what you throw in there. If you throw higher mats in there, then you can build faster. Thievery will come soon. And finally, the same thing as always. No, your ping don't matter. Henrik said, if you are in America or if you are in Europe, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have an effect on your game. He said it doesn't matter if you have 5 ping or 100 ping or even more. I will look back a few months, maybe I can find the stream and maybe I will clip it and load it and upload it here later on the channel. I think there was a pretty long explanation why this is how it is. But anyway, these stream summaries take a lot of work, so thanks to you for watching. So special thanks also to all Patreon and YouTube supporters: Carmel, Professor O, Slamif Gaming, Rollback, Tiffany, Donsky, Ronos, Bartonax, Vinya, you and all the others, of course. And always remember to make party hard and see you all next time. Goodbye.